It's Fake Talk, everybody. Welcome. Hey, check this out. So we are Pacific Podcast, and welcome to We Are Always Live with Samuel. Make sure you tune in. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our show. My name is Samuel up here at Dankyi. I would like to welcome you all to our show, Fake Talk with Samuel. It's good to come your way once again. I have a really special guest today, whom I'm really excited to talk to, Miss Angelina Yang. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm pretty good, pretty good. Thank you so much for your time today. I know there's been a lot of back and forth, but you're finally here, right?
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, thank you, thank you for taking the time to join us. So let's start off this way. There's an article that I just saw earlier today, actually, on the Wall Street Journal, and the title of it says "Pandemic Fatigue is Real and It's Spreading." So I'll just read, and this article is by Stacy Metri, Joanna Sagdan, and Andrew Bennett. So I'm just going to read the first paragraph of the article, and then I'll ask you a question on that. It says, from the corridors of Washington to the cobblestones of Paris, the coronavirus is roaring back and the authorities are ramping up restrictions again. But this time around, however, everyone is tired. So this whole notion of pandemic fatigue is about people being tired of being tired, right? So I want to ask you, how are you feeling? Are you feeling fatigued with this pandemic and everything that we're dealing with this year so far?
Um, yeah, definitely. I'm getting tired of this tiredness too. I definitely feel that. Um,
Mm.
it's very hard. Yeah.
What would you say has been the hardest so far?
Um, I think living in a household where there's a lot of people, you can't control everyone and the things that they do. When they go in, they go out, you can't control who does what and who's taking how far of a safety precaution they're taking. And so I think the hardest part is to just you have to have this so trust in each other that you're going to keep each other safe.
Mm.
Um,
So talking of household, let me ask, who are you quarantining with? Are you quarantining with family? Who exactly are you quarantining with?
with family, I'm a person who came from a really big family, and so lots of siblings, my parents, and a little baby.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's nice. Well, at least on the good side, I think a few of the guests that we've had on who also have family at home, one thing that they've all shared is the fact that in as much as they hate being at home, it's also helped rebuild their relationships with their families. They feel like they are much closer with their families and their siblings now. Is that the same for you?
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. I'm spending more time than I ever could if I was usually I was a student so who would travel to campus, so having this time home studying and then taking with the family is really nice because you get to step back from your studies and you get to just learn. You get to see what people do around this time of the day, because usually you go to school for so long and you come back home, it's already dark. You're like, what did you do the whole day? But when you're home around this time, then you see what they're doing at this time.
And since you have a lot of siblings at home with you, I would assume they are also doing their classes virtually as well. And that in itself can be a bit problematic with the internet and all of you having to be online at the same time. How are you dealing with that as the big sister? How are you dealing with all of
Actually, I'm the youngest one out
that?
of
Really?
um, many. I'll tell you, it's out of 12, I'm the youngest. Yeah, and so uh, actually they're really because I'm the youngest, then they support me a lot, and so they're really nice about keeping my space quiet when I'm in class. And then when it's internet, if they're not using it, they just turn it off. Usually we don't have a problem if they use it. It's totally chill because we get it. It's a hard time, and if um, it gets boring, you want to use the internet, go right ahead. Like we can accommodate to that.
It's
So
really nice to be at home with 12 siblings. I imagine that. That is really nice. So, Miss Angelina, share with us what are you studying here at UOP? What are your goals and aspirations as far as your education goes? What are you studying? What are you majoring in?
so I'm a fifth year student actually. I'm a super senior now this year, and I'm a religious studies major. I went through whole lots of ups and downs trying to discover what I want to do. But right off the bat, I started with religious studies. I came to university with religious studies. This year is my last year. I'm ending in spring semester.
May?
Um, yep, May. And
Same?
then cool. And then after that, I want I want to go to graduate school in Oregon.
Mm,
Um, so yeah.
that's really nice. Well, religious studies happens to be my minor, uh, and hopefully, by the grace of God, I would also be graduating in May with you. So that's that's something to look forward to. My journey has also taken quite some time. I did graduate about 10 years ago in Ghana with my associates, and so I had to go through like a whole transition, take some classes at Delta, uh, just to be able to complete my degree here at UOP. So I can feel you when you say you were super senior. I'm probably a super senior then, because not necessarily figured that long. But I'm glad we finally get to graduate that one in next year. So speaking of religious studies, that for me has actually helped me a lot in my faith, which is Christian or the Christianity faith. It's helped me to learn more about the Bible, and I want to know about you since it's your major. Would you say it's enhanced your knowledge in the word, or how has it impacted you?
Yeah, definitely. It I How it works for me is that when I became a religious studies major, I wasn't concerned about learning about my own faith and Christianity. I knew where I stood. I knew where my faith stood, so I didn't need to take courses to teach me more.
Hmm.
So I took more of the course to understand other religion and to be able to better communicate with them. Um, just last year was my first time. I think it was one of my first time taking a course involving Christianity, like solely on Christianity, and it was really nice. It was although a lot of the stuff we learn are not what you get in Sunday church, it's a lot of insight that you see scholarly people look at. You will never get that conversation at home with theological perspectives. So
Definitely,
yeah.
I can understand that, and I would also say that it's actually enhanced my understanding and knowledge about other faiths tremendously, and so that is one of the things that really drew me to it. And Dr. Starch, I think you probably know her. She tried to talk me into doubling my major and adding religious study to it, but I thought it might keep me in school for way too longer. I need to be, so I just decided to stop at the minor. So speaking of church, how much do you miss in-person services, and how has this whole pandemic affected your faith in terms of the way you are able to worship? Um,
Um, Definitely, there's a different feel when you go to church and you're around the people who are you're surrounded by people who are in the same faith as you, who uh who you all are going to that one location for the same purpose. And so for the pandemic, it's been a little, I say it's been a little hard. I don't think I've gotten lost um, per se, but then it's been a little harder just because you have to, because there's no Sunday where you go and it keeps you on track. Like you have to be attentive to your religion. It's not like a, because I grew up being Christian, right? So I've been going to church every Sunday, and so it's just in me to go every Sunday. But now I have to be attentive. I have to go look online and see where the message are. I have to look at other sources if that doesn't work for me. So
So given all these complications that we have to deal with now because churches or church services are now virtual, would you say about 7 months in now, at least since the pandemic started, are you getting used to it or do you still miss the in-person services? Or
I definitely miss the in person. I'm more of a in person interacting kind of person, and so I prefer that a lot more. But that doesn't take away from like doing virtual church, going sitting there. Like to me, I get the message either way. I don't need in presence. It's nicer and it's better, but then for me it's effective either way because
mm,
what I listen to are the words, and I don't need a presence.
mm. So the future, right? We are about 8 months into this pandemic, and with everything that we know, we don't really know, at least for now, when we are getting any type of a solution to this pandemic. So when you look at the future, especially given our final semester, at least for you and I coming up in the spring, do you think or do you hope for classes to resume, as in going back in person, being on campus, or do you see it being still done virtually like you're doing now?
I hoping to go into in-person classes. For me specifically, it's just better. I learn better. It's really hard to do at home, especially like it's nice to be surrounded by your family, but when you're around a child who cries probably every day because they're pretty much 1 year old only, then it gets really hard. You get distracted a lot, and you really, it's hard when you live in a big family. You have to really be disciplined to do and be on top of your work. When I'm on campus, I don't need that. Like my go on campus is the discipline for me already. And so, because I'm like stuck there all day, so that's already my discipline. Um, but yeah.
Definitely, definitely. So we are unfortunately almost out of time here, and we're going to play a little game. We're calling the Fast Five. So I'm going to ask you five quick questions, and you don't have to think about them too long, and just give me an answer like I said when it comes. You ready?
Well, okay, go.
Okay. Favorite color?
Green.
Green. Ideal family size?
4.
Okay. iPhone or Android?
iPhone.
Voting or no voting?
I'm sorry.
Voting or no voting?
Voting.
You voting? Okay, cool, cool. And the final one, virtual classes or in person?
In person.
Mm. Well, thank you so much for your time, Miss Angelina. I really appreciate you for coming on. So, to everyone out there, that's our show for today. Thank you all for tuning in. Please be sure to share this video with all of your friends. I'll have Miss Angelina give us final words before we sign off. So, what is your message finally to everyone watching this video, people who may be feeling down about this pandemic and just the state of the world now, what would be your goodwill message to everyone?
For me, what I would say to you guys is be safe, do what you want, but be safe and be wary of the people around you. Be considerate. That's really my main message.
Definitely be safe and be considerate, because your actions definitely has consequences on
Hmm.
especially your loved ones and people around you. So let's all be safe out there. And once again, this has been Faith Talk with Samuel. Thankful to all of you who keep watching our show. Thank you so much. And please, once again, share it with all of your friends and check back for more episodes on the same platform. My name, once again, is Samuel Appiah Dankyi, and I'm grateful to all of you for tuning in for our show today. So until we come your way once again next time, be safe and let's take care of one another. Thank you.